Is no contact the best tool to get an ex back? In this video, we're going to discuss about the psychology of your partner, of your ex-partner, the reason no contact could have an effect, and whether you should break no contact, whether you should discuss or try to talk with your ex, the effect as well on you, because also there's something you need to understand about how important it is from a healing point of view. As a therapist, I'm really interested in how to help my clients to feel better, and obviously to get them back with their ex, but primarily to get them feel better. And if you're suffering from the breakup, listen to this video. You'll learn very insightful tips for you.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So first of all, let's discuss the psychology of breakups and why people or how the decision process takes place. Your ex took months or weeks or months to take their decision, and you've had potentially both the opportunity to rescue the relationship at different points in time. So unless your ex took that decision without any reflection, you'll still be together. So it's just important for you to understand that it's not a decision that they can change right away, because it took them weeks or months to reflect on this idea, reflect on this decision. And if it's just a sudden decision, then no contact might not be the right tool for you, because it means that they're not really sure, it's going to be very easy to flip them, okay? So the reason we do no contact is because we want the recovery process to have some sort of time for you both to reflect on the relationship. I'll explain what I mean by that. First of all, why begging doesn't work? Why trying to stay in touch with your ex at all costs doesn't work? First of all, it really lowers your value. Think of the image you're portraying when you beg or when you're clingy with your partner. From their point of view, it reinforces the idea that it's all your fault. You're begging, you're pleading, you're the one at fault. So you come across as weak. You also have this victim mentality, which is far from being attractive, right? And this driver, which is unconscious, this urge to connect, this urge to stay attached, is also detrimental for you as a person. Because by maintaining this attachment at all costs, you're forgetting about yourself. You're forgetting about how you can find a new balance in your life. You have to accept the breakup. You have to start from that phase of focusing on yourself first, and then think about how to get back with your ex. Don't let the breakup define you. Use it to refine you. This is why I love my job, because breakups are, for me, one of the key events in people's life for them to finally reflect, for them to finally work on themselves and become a better version. Sometimes we have to wait for the worst to happen to take action, to realize I'm not living the life I want to live. I'm bringing with me this baggage, those insecurities. And this breakup, even though it's painful, will force you to open your eyes and to get into action. So from pain, very often, people get into action. That's a bit unfortunate that people react this way, but that's how we function. We're driven by fear, we're driven by pain, and very often we are in situations where we feel like it's okay. No, life is too short. You shouldn't be complacent when you feel your life is okay, your relationship is okay. So the fact that you've reached the bottom, there's no other way than to really push hard on your legs and find ways to sort of gain something from the breakup. The pain is real, the deception, the feeling of unfairness is there, don't get me wrong. but use it. Channel this potential anger towards your ex to focus on you and to do what's right. The secret of successful relationship is in one sentence. If you nail this, you master relationships. Is that relationships are built on the bedrock of mutual understanding and respect for each other's needs. It's very simple. Nobody does it properly. That's the problem, because it takes years to practice. Mutual understanding implies that you know how you function, you know how your partner functions. Respect for each other's needs implies that you need to know what are your needs. You need to be able to express your needs, and the same for your partner. It sounds so simple, yet nobody does it perfectly. So what do you think wants? Because again, if you want to get back with someone, if you want to connect, if you want to have a successful relationship, you need to understand your ex's needs. So you think, they need to know that I love them. They need to see signs of love and affection. They need to listen to what you understood from the breakup. They need to feel sorry for you. They need to feel your pain. They need to receive gifts as sign of love. So these are the scenarios, driven from our fear of abandonment that pushes us to think like, that's what they want. That's what you would want, but that's not what they want. Don't try to use your own fear and use it as a driver or use it as a framework to make decisions. What they want right now, and sorry because you might not want to hear this, but that's the truth. What they want is to be alone. What they want is space. What they want is time. Time to reflect, time to digest. And usually after a breakup, people who took the decision to break up will go through what we call the release phase, where they feel like, it's finally over. It took me months to, take the courage to tell her or tell him I wanted to break up because of, various reasons, the fear, the pain, it's not working, I feel like I'm not good enough, and so on and so forth, but it took them months. And so once they announce it, they can breathe. So it's very important for you to understand that when you interrupt the release phase, you act like a fly in the ointment. When people decide to break up, they had a sort of preconceived idea. Life without you. It's a little bit like when you plan holidays, you have this, like, I'm going to go to the airport and I'm going to go to this place and to this city and I'm going to sleep there. When you finally announce that you're going to break up, you feel like, okay, so tomorrow I'm going to be on my own. Even though it's hard, it could be hard for them, but they have this idea that, okay, I made plans to be alone. And so any type of sign, anything that you say, anything that you do will be considered as disturbance. Regardless of what you say, regardless of what we do. Sometimes people would call me and tell me like, I'll send you a letter, I drafted a letter or an email to my partner, we broke up a week ago. Can you help me rewrite it or review it? I do that with my clients, but sometimes just the timing is incorrect. That's not what they want. They don't want to hear. And no, it's not about the quality of what you send that's going to change anything. That's how they receive it. Okay? So when you interrupt this phase, you actually make the recovery take more time. You're getting back to this, you're not respecting their needs. You don't want to hear this, but what they need right now is to be alone. So you have to respect that. So what happens during no contact? Your ex can finally experience this release phase. The sooner it starts, the sooner it ends. So don't freak out if you've been in touch with your ex for the last few months. You can still do it, but if you just broke up with your partner and you had a proper conversation about the breakup, I think it's time to start no contact. Because that will also force them to see you with respect. Again, they have this potentially assumption that you're going to cling, that you're going to protest about that, and they will see that, okay, you act with maturity. You're stronger than I assumed. And this phase of no contact will push them to reevaluate the relationship away from anger, away from resentment. This is the only... no contact is a framework for people to reflect. It's kind of a detoxing both you and your ex from all the resentment, from all the negative emotions and the tension from the relationship and the breakup. And when you do that, this will make them start missing you. The only way your ex can miss you is if you disappear. It sounds very obvious, nobody wants to do it, but that's how it works. If you want your ex to miss you, you have to disappear. We crave for connection. Even though they took the decision to end the relationship, your partner will obviously crave the connection they have with you. They would want to know. They would die to know what you're up to. The same feeling that you have right now, wondering what is he doing, what is she doing. Of course, your ex will have the same thoughts. Perhaps not now, if you're just right after the breakup, but after a few weeks, a couple of months, there will always be time when they'll reflect like, what is she or what is he doing? And so, quick word on the science of missing someone. We are hardwired to search for continuity. People hate change. The reason we create bond with someone, and that's more of from a primitive evolutionary point of view, is because of safety and reproduction. Okay, that's why we have this core need to attach to someone. In attachment theory, we refer it to attach to a primary attachment figure, is because being with someone provides us safety and the ability to have babies and reproduce the species. And so when there's a lot of emotion, when there's a lot of affection with someone, it's even harder to change, to break this thing. Again, they took the decision, it might be easier for them than for you, but there's always an unconscious drive to experience these things again. Always, always. And a quick word on rebound is the reason people rebound so quickly, because they crave this emotional, this affection, and they would replace you with someone else. And they would potentially have the same experience, continuing the relationship as it never stopped. That's a sign that this relationship will fail, because that person, the rebound, will feel like, okay, what am I doing in this? I'm just here to fill the gaps. And that's what they're doing. Breaking the contact too soon, you're the fly on the ointment, in the ointment. Okay, remember this image? When you're about to break no contact, when you're about to send them a message, when you're about to call them, when you have this like, I need to show up at his or her workplace, remember this image of the fly in the ointment. That's not you. You don't want to be that. The benefits for you, because you have benefits in terms of from a healing point of view, that reduces massively anxiety. Anxiety is formed when you think about something that you can't control, and you obsess about those things, and you obsess because you can't control them. When you're in touch with your ex, you can obsess about the fact like, we're not together and I want to be together. And so they are just sort of breadcrumbing you because they want to be nice, or they just want to have you as an emotional support, but you don't get your part of the deal. It also helps you build resilience. Some of my clients, for example, they create some sort of codependency in their relationships, and it's very hard for them to be on their own. So forcing yourself to detox, forcing yourself to go no contact, really helps you to challenge this sort of belief system that you need someone in your life. I'm not saying that by going no contact it's about forgetting, moving on. It's really about reshifting the focus on you. And there's potentially a lot of work that needs to be done on your side. It's easier if you do that work with the right environment. And that's why, you can figure out what's best for you. Also some space to plan and work through your emotions. It makes it easier. And so that's what I do with my clients as a therapist, is I help them addressing those things. So some people are not very anxious, but they need a plan. And so we work on that, and it's very easy. It's easier when you go non-contact. Some people, they're really anxious, and it's really about how to deal with the anxiety, how to deal with the stress. And then we don't necessarily need to look at the plan, because sometimes you realize that there's not really a plan that needs to be done. Because the same way you fell in or got together in the first place, it was like kind of an organic way. So there's sometimes you don't have to force things. Should you break? No contact. Never ever dogma. So I understand this concept of from a non-empathetic point of view. If you do never ever ever, of course at some stage you will move on and you'll forget your ex. Okay? Because if they don't reach out, there's no chance of you getting back together. So the idea, the logic, and understand that if they broke up, they should reach out. And if they don't, you're not meant to be together. Okay? The thing is, and I see that because people call me after months of being in no contact, sometimes you also have to seek the closure yourself, or sometimes just, even though, and regardless whether it's male or female, but sometimes the dumper will be hesitant to reach out because they don't want to hurt you. So sometimes you just need to poke a little bit. Sometimes you need to gain clarity as well in order to move forward. I see regularly people calling me and they are stuck. It's been a year since we broke up and I've been in no contact. Do I have any chance of getting back with her or him? Why don't we check? Because if you're calling me, it's been 1 year of you putting your life on pause, expecting something from your partner. So the same time, no contact I think is a must-have at some stage. I think breaking the contact, if you feel that you are not able to move on, is a must-have as well. Because life is too short and you don't want to put your life, your dating life on pause, on hold, because you're waiting for a sign. And the same way, no contact really helps you to focus on yourself. The obsession of no contact, when you really can't let go of the relationship, can be extremely toxic. And don't get me wrong, a lot of times when you break no contact, if it's been a while, your ex will be happy to hear from you. Why would they have a bad perception, a bad image? Because they've had enough space, they have enough time. You had a great relationship. There's no reason why they would be mad at you. And if they ignore you, then you can come up with your own conclusion. But most of the time they would reply. And it's a new start. Breakup can be useful. I'm a strong believer that breakups are healthy. If you had a productive no contact, where you focused on yourself rather than writing the best love letter, you will be a better partner. And hopefully your ex has done this work. You'll be able to reconnect with your ex and start a new relationship. What is very important for you to understand is, unless you're able to get back with your ex right away, if you go no contact, what you have to do, and also what you have to explain to your ex, is not gonna continue where you left the relationship. You need to start a new one. You've evolved. You expect and perhaps your partner expected you to evolve. I think you should also expect that your partner evolved, grew as a result of this breakup, and start with new rules, with new foundation. Perhaps that might not work, but it doesn't matter because you will have done the work. I shouldn't say this, but it's not that I don't care, but from a therapeutical point of view, you getting back with your ex doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that I help you to gain the tools, the confidence to be happy and successful in relationship. If your partner doesn't want to do the same effort, if your partner doesn't want to accept that you can change, then that's their loss, that's not yours. So do it for you. This will have for sure effects on your life. If your partner wants to be part of your life, that's another story, but do it for you, and you'll get the benefits and be thankful that this breakup happened, because that breakup helps you to really address some of the things, really investigate on those blind spots, and you would learn and grow so much. So from this dramatic event, from this awful and painful situation that is a breakup, you can come out strong, and you will come out strong. That's what I do with my clients, and most of the time, if not everyone, they feel so much stronger. Have a look on Trustpilot. I use Trustpilot to get my clients' review. So far, I only had 4 and 5 stars out of 5, so I'm really happy about that. If you have any questions, if you want to get in touch with me, there's a link in the description for you to book a call with us. Any question, let me know in the comment section. If you found this video helpful, don't hesitate to click on like. It does help me a lot. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
For a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.